How's it going? It's Nasty T, and this is another episode of the Optimal Class series. Today we're going to be talking about the K7 submachine gun. We're going to talk about the strengths, the weaknesses, and then get into the optimal class build. First off, the K7 submachine gun comes pre-built in with a suppressor, which is really nice because I do like to put suppressors on submachine guns for the most part, so kind of getting that free extra attachment is very big. And let's get into the strengths. So this gun does shoot really quickly, very high RPM, which makes it so when you get close to people, you're going to have the advantage, because a lot of people run sniper rifles, Remingtons, AKs. Those are all very slow firing weapons, and in the case of some snipers like bolt action, so extremely slow. So if you can get close to them, you're going to have a huge advantage because you're going to be able to kill them quicker. Next, the hip fire box. I feel like it's the little thing, if you don't know, the little thing on your screen, it shows you where you're going to aim, and when you don't aim down sights, your bullets just kind of fill up that box. I feel like the K7 is the best gun to hip fire from in the game for a few reasons. One, it just fires very quickly, so you can fill up that hip fire box quicker than other guns that don't shoot as fast because you can just put damage out quicker. And also, I just feel like there's something, I can't prove it, there's no mathematical, I can't say that the hitbox is smaller, but when I shoot at people from the hip, I can shoot at them from like medium range, and I feel like the first 3 or 4 shots almost always hit. So that's kind of more of a subjective thing, but I just love this gun from the hip. I have the best results with it, and with the pre-built-in silencer and the higher RPM, there's really no risk to shooting from the hip, because if there's another gun and you see someone turning a corner and you're like, well, I'm going to go for it, and if I get them, I get them, and if I just hit them and they escape, that's okay. So normally with those guns, you hit them like 2 or 3 times, they turn the corner and they survive, but with the silencer built in, it's not that big of a deal because you're not going to pop up on radar. So those are kind of the strengths of the weapon. The weaknesses are there is some recoil on this gun. You really don't want to aim down sights because the recoil is bad. The gun bobs a lot, and the range is really poor. It drops off to, I believe, 7 shots, which is crazy to hit someone 7 times in this game when most people are in a 3-shot kill range for most of their guns. You're just going to die from either not hitting someone and running out of ammunition and kind of having to run around, or if you even hit them with your first shot, they're going to have time before shot 7 hits to turn around and hit you 3 times with an AK or Remington. So that's just not a good thing. So shots at a distance are a very bad thing because you're going to waste ammunition, you have the recoil, and it's really not going to do any damage. You have to hit someone 7 times, which is really difficult. I would include a few more stats for the guns like I like to do, but the submachine guns got buffed. So there was the original stats, they got buffed, then they got nerfed, then they got buffed again, so it's kind of confusing where they are, but things that are concrete, very good for hip firing, very good RPM, and a great gun to rush with, because I know people like to, kind of fly around, take out campers, kind of that more exciting Black Ops 2 style. I think this gun most emulates the Black Ops 2 style of kind of running and gunning. So we're going to get to the optimal class build here in a second, but let's just recap. I've said it a few times, but this gun does shoot very quickly, really good running from the hip. You don't want to aim down sights. I understand sometimes you have to. You're going to see in the video sometimes I do. If they're just right out of that hip fire range, no big deal. Just don't make it something you do regularly. Weaknesses, bad recoil, bad range. This gun does not do a lot of damage from far away. Let's get into the optimal class build here. So we have extended mags because we're going to be running around shooting from the hip all the time. Obviously, you're going to want a bigger clip. I do have the grip on because the suppressor is built in. There isn't really anything you're going to say, well, why do you say don't aim down sight and then put a grip on? Well, I can't put rapid fire on because I have extended mags on, and there's no real point in having a red dot sight if the point of the gun is to shoot down the hip. So I just kind of threw the grip on there because sometimes you do aim down sights for a second, so it can't hurt. Ready up just because you want to run around and pop that gun up and shoot from the hip. Agility in marathon, you want to be as fast as possible. Like I said, you want to fly around, you want to get really close to campers, to people with sniper rifles, Remingtons, AKs, and get that RPM advantage. We have focus, we have that on every single class, just because even when you're getting hit from the hip, it still kicks up your gun, even if you're not aimed down sight, so it just keeps you on target a little bit better. We have the steady aim perk, so the hip fire is more accurate. You're sensing a theme here. It's run around and shoot from the hip. It's kind of play like a chicken with its head cut off and just have a lot of fun. This is the gun I have the most fun with in Ghosts, and that's a big part of playing Call of Duty. Next we have On the Go, because you have the sprint button jammed the entire time you're using this class, you're going to need to reload because you're just putting out bullets all the time from the hip. That's a bad example. See, tried to aim down sights and shoot someone far away, didn't work. And then lastly, we have Takedown. This is a really underutilized, interesting perk in this game, and it makes it so the skull and crossbones, like you're going to see on that by that A flag, don't pop up when you kill someone. So obviously I have the silencer where if I kill someone, I don't pop up on radar, but the skull and crossbones still pop up on the body for the teammates to see. And that's a big indicator for me. If I see the skull and crossbones, I normally stop sprinting, aim down sights, and slowly approach, and then I'm not caught off guard by the person that killed my teammate. And having that perk on is just big because you're basically trying to be invisible. You're trying to be very quiet, very silent, creeping up on people, and that's a big part of it. Obviously, dead silence we're going to have on as well because we don't want people camping with headsets to find us when we're trying to sneak up on them. So that is the K7. You want to sprint around, fire from the hip, shoots very quickly. That's kind of the gist of this. Lastly, for support streaks, Oracle, because you need to know where people are camping. I like to have ballistic vests on just because if someone does see me, I can take a little extra damage and then I can get a little bit closer to them and spray them down and kill them. And then I like to have the counter UAV on just because I know I'm silent already and I have a silencer, but if they do have some SATCOMs down, I don't want them to know where I am because the way this gun works is sneaking up on people and killing them very quickly. It doesn't work if they always know where you are and they can kind of set up and look down long sight lines. I mean, they're going to kill you every time. So that's the K7. My name's Nasty T, and thanks for the view.